Hello, my name is Hamza Salem, and I am a developer for the results page team. This is the video representation for UserStory number 28, Show Hide Map. So here's the user story on Mingo. The purpose of the user story is to allow for the user to have a bit more customization on how they view the results page. So in this user story, they'll have the ability to completely hide the map, which allows them to see more properties at once. They also have the ability to expand the map, which will allow them to see more of the map but less properties. The acceptance criteria is as follows. So you must allow the user to hide the map, only showing the properties. Must allow the user to expand the map, allowing them to see more of the map and less properties. Must allow the user to show the map, showing both the maps and properties. And by default, the map and properties will both be displayed. Ensure that in both views and/or map is displayed correct. The properties and/or map is displayed correctly. Give the user a button to alternate between viewing options. And then any new modifications that occur from the user story should be consistent with the general theme and design of the BreazeHome site. Create any necessary documentation, which is currently in progress. Deploy the production server and wait for the approval from the product owner. And to create a video on the user story, which is also currently in progress. Here are the tasks for the user story. Deploy code, which is a new task and will be done once the product owner validates the user story. And the following tests are all completed: testing the user story, fixing an issue concerning button delays. So for different map views, different buttons will appear, but there's an issue where the buttons will appear a little longer than they should have when switching between map views. So that was handled for this task. Fixing alignment issues concerning the properties. So with different map views, the properties will become misaligned, so we had to fix that. Allowing the user to expand the map, creating a button so the user can toggle between different views, allowing the user to hide the map, and allowing the user to show the map. So those tasks have all been completed, and the last two tasks are currently in progress. So creating a video for the user story and creating documentation for the user story. So now we can demo the code. Here's the default view that the user will see when they visit the results page. You can see that the properties will take half of the width, while the map will take the other half of the width. So now the user will have the options to customize the results. They will have the More Map button or the Hide Map button. If they select the More Map button, you can see that they now are able to expand the map and see more of the map, and they're now limited to one property per row. So if they would like to see more of the map and they don't really need to see a lot of properties at once, they can choose this option. And you can also see that now, instead of having the More Map and Hide Map button, they'll be limited to the Less Map button to go back to the default view. So if they select the Less Map button, you can see that they're presented with the default view again, and you can see that there is no button delay. The Less Map buttons appear a little longer than they should have, which was a problem beforehand. And now they will have the option again to show more of the map or hide the map. So now the user really does not care too much for the map, and they just want to see more properties at once. They should be able to take advantage of the space that the map occupies, and they should be able to hide the map, which allow them to now see 4 properties at once. And you can see that it's not cluttered, it's not misaligned, everything is presented neatly. The user can take advantage of that space that the map is currently occupying. And you can go down, looks nice, neatly aligned, and so on. And then the user again is limited to only the Show Map button, which will take them back to default view if they like to. A good thing about this is with regards to the table view. So the user goes to the table view right now with the map, with the view in the results view in the default way, and you can see that the table view is a little cut off and it's a little cluttered. You can't really see much. You can't really take advantage of it. But if you hide the map, you can see it's presented neatly. Every row, every column is showing. Everything's neatly displayed, and the user isn't really being cut off with any important information. So giving the user the ability to customize the results page will allow them to view only what matters to them. So if they do not care too much about seeing a lot of properties at once, they can expand the map. If they don't really need the map and they want to take advantage of that extra space, they can hide the map and be able to see more properties per row. So instead of just being limited to 2 properties per row, they can see 4 properties per row now, allowing them to customize the results page to fit their needs. So now we can show the modifications we made to the code. So we can start here at results.js. So here we have hide map. This is set to false at first because for the default view we want to be showing the map. If we set the hide map to true, then we'll hide the map and we'll show the show map button. When it's set to false, we'll only be showing the more map and hide map buttons. Same thing applies for more map. We set it to false at the beginning for the default view. And when it's set to true, we'll have the map expand and we'll show only the less map button. And here are the width for the column, the map, and the card width. So by default, we're going to have the column and the properties and the map each take up half the width, and the card width will stay the same, taking 2 properties per row. So once we click on the hide map button, we're going to set hide map to true. This will hide the map div. And then we're going to set the column width, so the properties, to take up the entire width, since the map has been hidden, and the card width will be set to take up 3. In other words, it will take up 4 properties per row, as you saw in the demo. If we click the show map button, then we set, also when you click the hide map button, the more map and less map, but the more map and the hide map buttons will disappear, and we'll only have the show map button. So once we click the show map button, we'll set hide map to false, again showing the map again, and we'll have the more map and hide map buttons back. And then we set the column width, the map width, and the card width back to default values. If we select the more map button, we set the more map to true, hiding the hide map and more map buttons, and showing the less map button. We also expand the map width and decrease the column width, or the properties width. And we will change the card width so that we will only be seeing 1 property per row, so it can be neatly aligned. Showing more than that will make it cluttered and will provide a unappealing view for the user. And then lastly, if we click the less map button, we're going to set more map to false. So we're going to hide the less map button and again show the show map, the more map and the hide map buttons. And then we'll set back to the default value. So we can just call the show map button function to set back to default values. So now we can go into results.html. We can search for map view to change the main HTML file. So here we're going to have to check the map width dynamically, so we have to use this. And then we're going to just display buttons whenever necessary. So for example, we're going to display the hide map and more map buttons whenever we are not in the more map view. We're going to show the less map button when we are in the more map view. And we're going to show the map when hide map is set to false. You can also see that we wrapped the buttons in span classes. We use this to eliminate the button delay that occurred. So before, whenever you selected, for example, more map, it'll take a bit of like a second or two for the hide map and the more map buttons to disappear. But once we wrapped in span classes, there was no delay and they disappeared instantly, and the less map button showed right away. So yeah, other than that, we have the icons that we have here, and what you can see in the buttons. So icons right here, like that. And just a bit of styling, remove some padding that occurs with the span class, and really that's it. And then you can see the ng click to call the right functions whenever the button was clicked. We can also show the show map button that occurs when hide map is set to false, and just the same thing here. Whenever hide map is when hide map is set to true, the show map button will appear, and that's really it for the results.html file. Just customizing the view, showing the right buttons when they need to, and changing the column width whenever needed. And then we can go to styling last. So we have here over map. So this was used to make sure that the buttons appeared over the map. And then we customize the button, and these are the buttons that occur over the map. And we customize the show map button separately. You can see that over here. And yeah, that is it for the code additions and modifications. That will wrap up the presentation for UserStory number 2828. If you'd like to contact me, you can find my contact information here. If you have any questions regarding the BreazeHome project, you can contact the product owner, Dr. Masood Sajadi. Thank you for watching.